Well, I could hardly believe it when I heard it over the TV and radio this morning, but well, I don't know. I just don't have any reaction at all. I guess it's just a shock. It'll probably wear off sooner or later, but my wife and I decided to come right down here to the Kennedy Memorial as soon as we heard about it, visit it. That was the only thing we could think of to do.
What do you think perhaps the person who shot him might be like? What prompted him to do this?
Well, probably fear.
Fear of what?
Fear. Well, fear for this country.
What kind of a person do you think he was, or is, rather?
Well, he may have been a good person, but afraid. We're in deep trouble in this country, and he may have been afraid.
What was your reaction to the shooting? What was the first thing you thought of?
What's this world coming to, is what I said.
I think I'd echo the same thoughts. It just seemed drastic that such a thing had happened 2 times in the family like that.
Dallas County Junior College trustees are very pleased today. Last evening, they passed on the schematic designs for the 3rd suburban campus for the system. It's the Richland campus. Dr. Bill Priest, the chancellor of the system, is especially happy about the new campus.
That's right. This campus, of course, is being built on a site out in the Richardson-Garland area. It has more going for it naturally than any of our 6 sites. It has a lake chain down the center. It has verdure that is really a thing of beauty. And although we expect all the campuses to be supreme, this has all this plus whatever man's talent is able to put in it.
The architect in charge of the plans for the Richfield campus is Ensley Oglesby.
Our desire to take advantage of this site in the refreshing effect that it'll have on students when they go from one activity to the other has led us to a system of circulation that gives them alternate routes, inside for bad weather, undercover when it's terribly sunny or rainy, and hopefully outside a good part of the time, assuming we don't continue to have weather like we've had.
A distinctive new future campus for the Dallas County Junior College system. Teal Salon reporting.
There are those whose first thought is about the analysis of the assailant as to what made him do this. Also, the gun control law is getting a great deal of discussion this morning. To me, it's more important that they have the assailant in custody and that he might expect to face the full penalties of the law. And I would like to think that he would be confronted with the maximum, the death sentence, and that this would be a deterrent to future occurrences of this type. I don't think that the gun control law in itself is any answer. The answer is to do something about the nut behind the gun.
I am shocked. I heard the news at 5 o'clock this morning from a neighbor, and it was very hard to believe. There is a sickness in America, and anyone who watches television or reads the news and keeps up with the news of America knows for a fact that we are a sick nation. However, I believe in America, I believe in our country, and I think these things can be righted.
My sympathy goes out to all the Kennedy family in this second tragedy in their lives. Hopefully, if anything can come out of such an event, it will lead to the thinking about how we can restrain criminals and madmen with whatever devices, through legislation, through increased enforcement or other procedures.
Here at the state capitol, discussion of the shooting of Senator Robert Kennedy during the night has overshadowed any legislative concerns this morning. Lieutenant Governor Preston Smith, shortly before opening the session of the Senate at 10:30 this morning, had this to say in response to the shooting of Senator Kennedy.
This is not the American way of expressing ourselves. I think when we differ politically with each other, that the expressions of difference should be with the ballot. Now, we must have a government of law and not government of men. When things like this happen, certainly I think we're moving further and further toward anarchy. And I think that the people of Texas and the people of America, sooner or later, we're going to have to assume our responsibilities as individual, freedom-loving Americans and see that this sort of thing stops.
Well, kind of hurt. I don't like to see anybody hurt like this. You don't agree with a man, but you don't want to see anybody hurt. And I didn't like it at all.
You know, we've been having a lot of shooting and assassins, and it just sort of shook me up. You know, I just thought, well, what's going to happen next? You know, just sort of got me there.
What was your first impression you heard that Senator Kennedy had been shot this morning?
That it was I thought that it was that they'd said President Kennedy, and it was a playback of 4 years ago.
This is a deep personal tragedy to me, because I think this is a great American. I think this is a great human being.